Ba-da, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna get some folks in here. Wait till that filters through a tad bit. Yeah, definitely, definitely. See how this goes. See how this goes. How y'all doing, chat? Let's get in here. Do 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 do. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Oh, my little thing is all funny. How's it going, everybody? We are here. We are live. We are alive. I feel like I'm quoting Hassan on that one. Hey, yo, what? How it go? How it goes? How it goes? We're in for a treat today. We have a really cool guest, and they've reached out to me, and you know, it's one of those things where you see someone and you're like, you know, I like the cut of their jib, and we got in contact, and that's how we're here today. Let's do a little quick little mini intro. All right. So you probably seen this name throughout your time if you watch any of the end credits of most tournaments, because we have tournament organizer, founder of Gaylee, if you know who that is, and an avid writer. You actually might have seen some of the blurbs for the top 100. We have at Melee Sad Posts here for us today. And I think we're going to have a really great conversation. I really hope that we really get to enjoy ourselves, and we could probably get to a point where we're really explaining about a lot of stuff that's going on. And but let's see where this conversation gets us. They are supposed to be ready. They actually let me know they're ready when I am. So let's see if she's ready to go. All right, let's see. All right, commencing the video call. I'll pop that out for a sec. Should change this to grid view. Hello, hello. Can I be heard? Can we both be heard?
Hello.
Hey, you can be seen and heard. Let's head over. Put it on screen. Looks like we are here. We are ready. How's it going?
It's going well. Can I see chat? Can I have can I have a link so I can see chat?
Yeah, give me a sec. Da, 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 do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh God. See, this is the bad part about YouTube streaming. It's harder to just like not go just straight to like a Twitch chat.
Yeah, you have to like click 9 links to get into your live stream.
Oh, I know. It's horrible. I don't know why it does that. Oh, good Lord. Oh, you know what? I have my phone right here. Give me a sec. Share, copy link.
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I've been doing well today.
All right, there you go.
I'm off on the freaking weekends, so
same. I'm one of those filthy 9-to-5ers. Well, technically 410 or not 410s, 980s. You work 4 days, 9 hours, 1 week. Then the next week is 4 days, 9 hours, and 1 day at 8. So it's like you have 1 3-day weekend every 2 weeks.
Oh, that's what I do.
Yeah. Good old fashioned. I love that stuff. It makes things a lot more convenient when we have to do a bunch of nonsense like this. It's like, oh, great, on a Friday, finally. That's always
what are your days off sacred for? What do you use them for?
Sleeping. Yeah, we have like 2-hour commute every night and an hour and a half commute in the morning because we live like it's 60-ish miles, so we do about 180 miles every day, or not 180, 130 miles daily. It's it's a nightmare situation, but that's the effect of living in SoCal, and everything's all centralized in one location, and the only affordable housing is in the outskirts. Even then, though, now
is it worth it?
I mean, I guess like the housing market in the direct area I'm at right now, like grew exponentially. First in the housing market crash of 08, then prices kind of stabilized, and it shot up again during COVID. So like what someone bought for maybe like 100K or less is now in like 08, 09 is now worth like 450, 500 maybe, give or take, which sucks.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. My Midwestern ass like lives like 2 blocks away from work, and I walk there every morning, and I don't even think about cars except for not getting hit by them every morning.
Yeah, we don't got that unless you are smack dab in the middle, like where you have apartments down the way, and even then it's a nightmare and a half. The public transportation sucks here. We have zero infrastructure. Like the thing that I tell people all the time, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, technically based on a true story.
I haven't seen that. I'm uncultured in that.
So in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they're trying to
Yeah.
investigate who's killing all the cartoons, and the villain of the story is killing off Toon World so they can make room for freeways and dismantle the public transportation, which is exactly what happened in Southern California and in San Francisco. General Motors came in and subsidized buses, and that got rid of the state and city owned trolleys, which end result means they break down, they're not needed, reliant on bus, new infrastructure to made for buses and for the cars, and that put us in our car centric SoCal that we are in low and sort of love.
And then they stopped funding the buses. I bet. Yeah, right.
Yep, the funding of the buses is terrible. It's terrible. That's why I'm like, oh, Zoran, why can't we have one of you here?
Yeah, he needs to do it. One day he'll long march all the way down to SoCal.
I'm gonna say it right now, unless you have someone who has a good car with great gas mileage, it's gonna be a bitch and a half to get anywhere. It's no fun. Like and especially like when gas got really expensive, like at $5, it was like $7 a gallon here. Like, yeah, terrible. Yeah, enough about gas and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Prius gang, yeah, shut up. Fellows residents, how's it going? I am straight as a Trophy Plays, and we have our guest. Say hi.
Hello.
Introduce yourself slightly, even though I gave you an intro.
Hello, I'm Tren. I'm a melee player, and I'm a melee term organizer, and I like to write and talk about melee
As we all do.
and get emo about melee.
Yeah, oh, that's why they're sad posts, right? So I said a little bit of a preamble that like you reached out to me and like I was like, hey, this is cool. Let's get.
Oh yeah. I was noticing that. Yeah.
Oh, did it reconnect? Did it F? Oh no. Hopefully still live.
Yeah, your frames are dropping a little bit for me.
No. Let's see what happened.
Everything will be okay.
Everything will be fine. Everything will be okay. The reconnection was successful.
Reconnection imminent.
It will happen. Oh man, that's why I should do local recording and not just only rely on whatever. I think we're good. I think we're back. Does it look like we're back?
I think so.
Time to check the analytics of things. I'm gonna do this. See if it catches me. Oh no. Using not enough media to maintain stream. Experiencing buffering. I think they're gonna see it a little bit. Whatever. It might be slightly delayed. There's always a cleaner VOD. At least I hope there is. I wanted to I kind of want to start at the very beginning of like your journey and everything. And this is kind of how I like talking to people, just kind of, learn their story. Mission statement always of this is really telling the stories of people within the scene that like most people might not know. Because considering, 99% of the scene is not Hungrybox, Armada, Spargo, MKLeo, it's people in the background, people in production, people adjacent to the scene, the O2ers, all of us make what a lot of these people who have the high visibility even have that visibility in the first place. And a lot of those stories are worth being told too. So like for me, being able to find some of those unique stories and giving them a platform to be told is pretty important to me in that regard. And the way I want to start out is I kind of want to go to like the beginning, like the origin story. Where's Trin from? Where does the inception of becoming part of the scene start, and like that those moments right before you discover it all? And yeah, the very beginning. Where were you before Melee, and how did it happen to you?
I mean, before Melee, I was just kind of like grinding band, like just trying to actually be good at the instrument I'm playing in band. That's kind of all I really thought about. And yeah, I guess like drawing. I like drawing a little bit, and then I discovered a fighting game called Injustice.
Ooh, nice one. That's a good one.
That game was dope. But I'd always liked Smash. Like, I guess this is important to tell because I guess this is the first I really got to tell like the awesome origin story that kind of happened with my Melee career. But in the fourth grade, I had a best friend, and he played a lot of Smash Brothers. And neither of us had a lot of friends, and we met and we bonded over it, and we played Smash almost every day. And we like went through every game, unlocked every character, and then like looked at all these mods and obsessed over that. And eventually, he getting homeschooled, and we didn't talk anymore. We had a falling out.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, and then eventually, I realized like how much better he was at Smash than me. But so I wanted to like get better, but I didn't have anybody to play with, so I just went to a different fighting game and I chose Injustice. And I was doing these combos, these really stupid brain dead combos with Doomsday. I was like doing forward up, down forward Y. It's like a high low, like a 2-frame high low mix up, and I'm just like thinking I'm like a 14-year-old savant. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I'm doing combos in this game, I can probably just do combos in Smash Brothers and win like that.
Yeah.
So like, I picked up a copy of Smash Brothers for the 3DS, and I was like doing like down throw, up B, Toon Link combos, like trying to do like fighting game combos with it, not really understanding it. And then I kind of just like at this point I'm like 16, and then Genesis is on, and I'm watching Smash 4, and I'm like, this is stupid, this is lame, it's just like a villager with his balloons. And
the Larry Lurd classic of camping out the villager in a 2-star game.
yeah. And then like, it's not really that much different nowadays. Like you log on to Ultimate and you see like Sonic camping out of Minecraft Steve.
True.
You can see that. So thank you for like giving us a good pipeline of Melee once again.
Always.
But after that, I just decided I was gonna start playing Melee, and that my first Melee tournament ever, I ended up getting second. It was like a really bad, like not. It was mostly new players from my high school that I just hosted in my bedroom. I named it after the Kingdom Hearts tournament series Struggle. Had a $20 entry fee.
Jesus, $20 for a bedroom tournament? That's crazy.
Yeah, had 5 entrants.
Woo! That price split must have been crazy.
And the person I lost to in grand finals was my friend from 4th grade. I didn't know he was gonna be there. So it was my like longtime friend that I used to play Smash with from elementary school. So it was cool to see him again. And then we started grinding. We rekindled our friendship, and we just started playing Melee all the time, like we used to. Yeah, and then I graduated high school, went to college. I kind of fell out of Melee for a bit. And then whenever COVID hit, obviously I was like, well, I need something to do. So I started Melee, and I started playing Melee again. And I was getting like really annoyed with the toxicity on Smashboard, so I just wanted to create like a server, and I called it Gaylee, and I was like, it's for gay people.
Yeah.
Most people joined it, and then that's when I started to like find a lot of home and community in the Melee scene. Whenever that started to grow, and yeah, it's basically where I am now. Well, not really where I am now, but like
That will
since
lead
then I've
you.
just been like, yeah, since then I've just been, I don't know, I just focused on graduating college, and then like finally got my license, so I'm gonna try to start like actually getting really really good at melee now.
Actually
Like it's
driving, one of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the rarest accomplishment in Smash Brothers, regardless of which Smash game you're playing, having a driver's license.
Yeah, I've always like really liked melee, but I've never been able to drive, so I've never been able to travel, so I've never really been able to like have any sort of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a local that I'm like able to walk or like take a bus to, I always have a lot of motivation. Those are the times where I improve the most.
Mm-hmm.
But when I don't, I don't really like, because like when you're like, oh, when there's like a weekly or a monthly, or like you're gonna be going to this tournament, like you want to practice every day. But when
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, I gotta practice so I can beat the freaking, so I can get plat too. Yeah, it's like, oh, I can get like diamond too. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta make sure your ELO is so good.
yeah. I wanna practice so I can feel the thrill of going deep into the bracket.
It's just funny because, like, for me, like, I'll just play for the sake of like making my brain be dead. So I'll go O2 all day, and I don't really care as long as I have a good time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, but also like the same thing's a little bit different because like, as much as I play, like I do like boot up Slippy on occasion. Like I do play more Ultimate than anything, and like I'm all right. Like I'll run the entire rotation at work on like Joy-Con. Like slightly busted Joy-Con, and people will like barely be able to take a stock off, and I'll go to a tournament. It's like, yeah, I'll go 1-2, 2-2, whatever, but I'm not really there to grind it out. It's more of like seeing that sense of of a third space community type deal and interacting with people.
Yeah.
Using the game as one person once said, as the social lubricant to interacting with people.
Yeah, yeah. I made a video about that, about how the CRT kind of represents that aspect of melee, how um melee is like the CRT is like that third thing, and
Mm-hmm.
wherever you go for a melee tournament, there's CRTs, and that makes it that special third place with these like sacred objects.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, just like I've gotten into this weird obsession, like in the last couple of years, despite the fact that like I don't own a Wii, I don't have a GameCube on me anymore. Like the Wii that we do have is like at my parents' house. I think my brother has it. I wonder if he has the PM on there. I'm not sure. Anyway, like I'm trying to find random CRTs, like see who's willing to give them away for free, like on OfferUp and stuff. Or like anything relatively low cost, and everything I see are $300 CRTs.
Yeah, whenever Zora on long marches from the east to the west coast, I'll give him one of my like 5 CRTs in the closet to give to you.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Okay,
Yeah,
he
I'm like,
does.
it's praxis, it's praxis.
Yeah. Okay, so my brother does have PM on an SD card for our Wii, for our childhood Wii. Good.
Incredible. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Nah, I mean, well, yes, allegedly. Sure, let's go with allegedly for now. So one thing I want to ask, like, at what point did you realize there was just like this general community about like Melee, but the Smash scene in general? Like, did you have any idea that there's this larger scene, or was it more of like you stumbled upon it, like trying to like find a combo video or something?
I mean, mostly just like whenever. Oh, like how did I figure there's a community? Well,
Yeah.
what tipped me off? Trying to figure out the exact moment. I don't know. I guess in general, just like exploring competitive Smash. Like I was just interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just so I kind of explored through like combo videos at first, and then I got into Melee through Genesis because I just kind of started just watching tournaments, and then I really started to realize that like the community is like a part of my life. Whenever like I would go to a tournament and I'm like, oh, I recognize that person, and I talk to them, and then like I hang out with that person and I talk to them outside of it, and then
Hmm.
melee becomes like larger than just the tournaments. It enters your everyday life when somebody affects you from it. I don't know.
Yeah,
So that's the moment I realized like that melee was that, more than the game.
that's right. Wu Melee, Marshall Knight, or wait, yeah, Marshall Knight in the chat. Wu Melee indeed.
Marshall.
Yeah. So like, because like for me, like I've seen that like for some people like Melee is like the first time they get to like see and explore like third space communities. Um because like more and more like a lot of those kinds of things don't really exist anymore. And especially
Yeah.
like in, smaller communities, there's not very much of that in general. So having these kinds of like things that kind of like bond people are very important to have, and for it to mean something relatively accessible is like as Melee is like the first time some people actually even see it for the first time. Like for me, I grew up going to like punk and like ska shows,
Yeah.
so like invariably and inherently I see the value of like creating something for yourself from nothingness and making do with what you don't have, and the DIY nature of it all. And it's like in its like grungiest form, the going to like an abandoned warehouse to like go see like Star Fucking Hipster and perform leftover crack songs
Yeah.
is like the same thing as like a basement tournament happening, right? It's there's a lot of that like similar like cousin energy, that sibling energy for
Yeah.
itself.
Those are like the only two things I did in college, was like go to those like underground punk shows, those DIY shows, and then go to melee tournaments. I'm like, this is sick. It's just nice to see like people just trying their best to carve a little space out.
I think it's funny too that like the folks like that the folks that you see the most, like in like the production side of things, at least out here, they all have like an origin in like their local punk scene, their local ska scene, metal scene, or whatever. And it also translates to like a lot of them also being former scene kids as well. I was like, this is a funny pipeline that like all of these same people just like end up just like now they all run tournaments and shit.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those like, this is quite a stereotype. It's like, oh, what do you do right now? Oh, I do production for Smash tournaments. Oh, how'd you get into it? Oh, I used to like voluntarily roadie for this local like a band called like, I don't know, Death Valley Meth Lab or some shit like that.
You'll see it. Just go to a tournament, go to a major, just look around, look at the TOs. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
It's like that person definitely had swoopy hair back in high school. Oh man. So when it comes to like building and like, or not necessarily building, but like finding out about like community within the scene, where have you seen that like those effects of like people like seeing, a tournament for the first time, then all of a sudden now seeing people in person for the first time, and like seeing this like weird pipeline of like being an outsider and slowly being brought in? And like, did you have like that similar type of journey, or like do you see that with people from time to time? Like, because I'm assuming like at least where, you being like in a Midwest area, my assumption of the Midwest is like these kinds of communities are very like insular. So they're smaller by nature just because of the less of the concentration of people as compared to like somewhere where there's a more major metropolitan where there's just like a large density of that kind of stuff. And do you feel like in those kinds of instances it's something that like people have to like be extra inviting for, as opposed to like the intimidation factor, people just rolling up to a random house like on a weekend?
No, I think that's part of the experience. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm biased because like I turned out fine doing that kind of stuff, but it's just kind of part of the experience nowadays. Like, I don't think people are like inherently evil or scary, and melee is like kind of how you learn that. Melee is kind of how like I learned that at least, or I don't know, because like because you asked like if I was like that, and I said, and I was thinking, yeah, I very much was like a very dissociative like kid, and I didn't really have any attachment to a lot of things or passion. And then melee was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I could go here and I could practice if people like take this seriously, and there's like huge tournaments, and you could help out, and there's like rankings. The rankings were really cool to me because I always had a like a really big hyperfixation in tournaments. Ever since I watched the Teen Titans episode where the Master of Games like pulls them all into his amulet and they like play in the
Yeah.
tournament. I was ever since then I was like, tournaments are so cool. So I was only inevitable where I got into that. So yeah, so it kind of gave me some self confidence, and then when I realized that like I can be liked and I can improve at this game, uh, it felt good. It felt good because I didn't really care about school. I thought school was dumb.
Yeah, the then again, education in the United States is not
Yeah,
conducive to want to cause people to want to take it on and take it seriously without
yeah, that's so dumb.
that's a whole separate conversation that a lot of people aren't really willing to have, especially with the current administration literally dismantling
Yeah,
it. Like one thing I've seen specifically personally, when it comes to like these kinds of scenes is like all it really takes is like one person to show up and turn to the person next to you and is like, hey, man, is this your first time here? Never seen you before. And that's usually kind of like the additional hook outside of like
yeah.
seeing the tournaments and seeing the scenes and seeing the clips or whatever. Like, have you?
Most people. Sorry, no, yeah. Go on, ask the question. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you're saying. What are you going to say?
Yeah, most people like everybody you ask can like probably identify like that one person that really like sat down with them and like reached out to them and like made them realize that like if they play this game, like they'll be kind of rewarded for their passion. Uh not for their productivity, but for their love. Like I don't know, that's like a life-changing moment where like, oh, people are just unconditionally like loving just because like you're supporting this scene just by your presence, like because no matter what, like your presence is appreciated because it makes the results look cooler, so they're gonna appreciate you there,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're bad.
Good, bad don't matter,
And if you're good, they're like, okay, awesome, a new rival.
It's like, oh, finally a training partner.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to a video that Majin Obama did, where in the early arcade scenes, there was only like maybe a handful of people around him, and whenever there was someone new, they said, hey, how's it going? Hey, let me show you how to actually play so you can learn how to go up against me, and that way I can actually have someone to fight against.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all I did in high school. Like I would just be like, hey, do you have any friends? And they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you can come to my house and I can teach you how to play melee and how to wave dash. So we just had like a bunch of like people that didn't have like a lot of friends like come together playing melee, and then I'm still friends with all of them to this day. Little Melee Goonies. That's what Melee does. It kind of unites people who have fallen out of the traditional pathways to make friends because like it's such a big social reservoir of people.
Yeah, the other part of that too is just like I think people misunderstand the functionality of camaraderie in having that shared interest is what allows those connections to happen. Like you're seeing it right now, at least a little bit with there's someone in the EFGC, like the East Coast. I think Lud Thinks is the name of the guy who recently got picked up by ICE. Who's had apparently has like an asylum case, and they still picked him up anyway. And
yeah, a lot of that happening.
So like for a lot of people, this is the first time they're experiencing someone they know, being a victim of this level of state violence, and the expression that the expression of like frustration and anger and dissent that they have in the situation is being looked at the lens of, hey, put your fingers back on the sticks. I don't want to hear what you're talking about. And then there's even more people like looking at like what's going on. And it's like, things are more important than the buttons that are being pressed. The reason why this is so important, people are having this dissent, and so many people are speaking out about it, is that togetherness and unity and solidarity that people have, and it being violated in this instance in the most extreme way with, like state violence. They come together to pool their resources to help one of their own. And the people who probably never been to a tournament in their entire life in person are over there acting like these fucking hogs.
Yeah.
Acting like hogs, saying is like, oh, whatever. But in reality, it's like these moments of solidarity coming together are the real reason why these communities exist in the first place. Like I said, it's the initial thing that draws them in, because these bonding moments over time, like teaching someone how to wave dash, teaching someone tech, or whatever it happens to be, going through a handful of rounds, someone giving you some friendly advice, someone like, hey, can you help me lift this like 30 inch CRTs, 30 inch like Trinitron or whatever. Like that kind of community and solidarity builds so much more than like following people on Twitter.
Yeah.
And being exposed to like, I don't know, Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate in the background. No, that doesn't make community. These interactions do,
Luckily, if you've been like seeing like these stats that Nicolette has been posting, like Melee is in maybe a bit of a lull on like the super major front. Like we're not like hosting, our big houses and our Genesises and
Shine.
we're used to have just, like all these crazy majors, but we do have like record high locals. We have so many locals, and they're all flourishing and like all over the place, and they're doing well. So that's really the best timeline. Really is going back to the era where there was a bunch of regionals. Where I don't know. This is like I remember like the 2015, 2016 era where it was like mostly regional focus with a few majors. So
yep.
I would like that. I would like that again.
I think the funny thing about that too is like it's also like in that time frame you have this like the beginning of what eventually creates the esports bubble. Ironically enough, it's like post-doc, a lot of regionals, people, flying back and forth, like to win, $200 for first place or whatever. The local scenes are very personable, very, very personal, because like people are talking to each other, not like on anonymous accounts on Smashboards anymore very much, or through Twitter. A lot of this stuff is being run in Facebook groups in that time
Yeah,
frame.
I was a Facebook fiend back in that day.
And then eventually, you know, the move to different social medias. But like the thing that I was going to get at is like in that time frame, the seeds of what the general esports scene was starting to like really starting to grow, and the bunch of that money was starting being poured into just esports in general. Right, you have all of a sudden now in that time frame, you have like people investing in the League of Legends, investing in Overwatch League, Rocket League. I think was coming around at that same time up in that, and like being pumped with all this like venture capitalist money. And by some ways, while fighting games in general, we're kind of seeing a little bit of that, you know, with the Evos and like the expansion of everything. Smash in general was still very grassroots in a way that like even in its like some of its like lows still forge extreme like bonds between the players and the community with each other, which is something that's very difficult to like replicate in that level of like when there is this chance of like being able to make a giant name for yourself and make boatloads of money, and then like now why would I want to go to like my 15 person local down the street when I can just keep training and then make, you know, 150K and some other game instead. And we don't really have that. And by a lot of ways, we kind of don't really want that. As much as we want more money in the scene from time to time, we really actually don't really want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like we don't have. You can't monetize it, so it can't really it can't really take like the worst aspects of commodification. So like as like the reason why Nintendo does not like competitive Smash is not because of anything besides like they can't monetize it. Like it's not on them to monetize as well, and perhaps it hurts the bottom dollar, but it's mostly because they don't have control over it and they don't have control over the monetization. And that's why Melee will never become one of the biggest esports, because there's really no way to make money off of it because advertising it gives no purpose. No. So we're free. We're free.
We usually are.
Melee is basically like drawing now. It's public domain. You know what I mean? That's just a hobby you can do now, and like, you know, capitalism's not too big of a deal.
It reminds me of when how's her last name said? Zoe Zephyr, Representative Zoe Zephyr.
Yeah.
When she went on Foresight's.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about the idea of like right to repair, and her response was, no, they weren't talking about right to repair. I think they were talking about, I think something, a question along the lines of like ownership of things. And she presents the idea of like, yes, like once you have ownership of the item, there's no real reason why like bicycles should come through and like, you know, snatch your card, your playing cards out of your pocket because you're playing a game that's not poker or Texas Hold'em. Why is that any different than if you own a copy of Brawl and you modify it to play like something else? Why would that instance of like, you know, they paid for the physical discs and whatever it is, why do they have to be punished for playing the game that they want the way they want it to? And her focus eventually, you know, did say, you know, the idea of right to repair, right of personal ownership, because we're not buying a license for Melee. We're buying Melee. We're not buying a license for a Wii. We're buying a Wii. The fact that we should be able to do whatever we want to it is our own prerogative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 I mean, it is dumb. It is like commodity fetishism at its peak. It's like, yeah, this isn't just a Melee disc with like code on it. This is like a fucking sacred contract between you and the god of money and copyright law. Like, you can't violate this like biblical agreement.
I remember in the post. I want to say this was post post BTS, um, the online summit, and they had to like joke that like, oh no, we made the sets look exactly like their bedrooms. What are you talking about? And this was like in the heels of like Big House Online getting shut down. So like they had to hide the fact that like, oh, we're playing on Slippy, so that
Oh
they
yeah,
also wouldn't.
I
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah. I don't remember if you
Now,
remember that.
now we just fucking do it. Now we don't give it get. Now we don't GAF. We just do it.
You just let it run. Like you literally have melee cash box, once a month. You know what I mean? Being completely funded now, specifically by the people like actually pouring their money and passion into it by themselves, and not like having to take some kind of like third party advertiser to do it. It's completely self funded, and Hungrybox, he said he'll do it as long as people are funding it. So let's see how long that goes, and hopefully it goes for much longer than it's starting to look like. Because
Really?
those price pools are starting to go down, and once those price pools go too low, they're not going to be able to at least pay for the casters.
Damn. I'll commentate Melee for free.
She's like, I'll do it for free too. Why not? Like, I've hopped onto comms in my local once or twice. I think once. No, once. Yeah. And we made really great jokes, and it was fun. We don't have to be too heady about it.
Yeah. Sad. I like commentating, but sadly, like the moment where I had the most opportunities, like I was really like I love making jokes about bombs. So I kept getting on the mic and being like, "Lol, I have a bomb," and I was like, "Why would I?" So I had to get off the mic for a bit. I think it might have been like a vocal stem or something, but I was just like, I'm bummed. So I don't know.
Well, no. I don't know what you're talking about. She's commentating Snake in Ultimate. No, that's totally fine. She's pressing the B button multiple times. We're good.
Yeah, getting killed wasn't even out yet, so I couldn't even say I was like singing a song. There's a bomb in my car.
So like, at what point, like, did you really like take in competition like as a diehard thing as you were like getting in the scene and moving forward into it? Was that like a driving factor to like stay within it, or like was there eventually something that kind of clicked? I'm like, I don't know if like full on like high level competition is the thing that I'm going to be doing and I'm meant to do within the scene. Like, how did that journey go from like I'm super competitive to like I'm only casually competitive before finding your spot?
Well, like when I was first playing out in high school, like I couldn't drive because I was like just like a little, I don't know, anxious little kid, I guess. But so I just had to host tournaments at my house. So I didn't have a good computer, so I couldn't net play. So my only practice was playing on the CRT and getting people to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And watching, on my Chromebook during class all the time. All I did. School is dumb. School is so dumb. But yeah, so trying to figure out
that moment of like, I don't think full competition. I think I'll stick to casual competition and make my
so
place somewhere else.
I was always more focused on getting people to my house because like I could never really lose to anybody because nobody took it as serious as me.
Yeah.
So I guess then my focus became to host good tournaments in Vincennes that make people want to come here. And then like try to find ways to carpool the tournaments, or like find ways to, find rides with people. Yeah. So that's kind of what I did. So I never really like took Melee super seriously because I knew I wouldn't get to compete as much as I liked, and I didn't really, you know, have many challenges unless people came down here, in which case I would just get annihilated. But I guess what really motivated me was like Evansville Esports, which was like a local business that was like an hour south, which was like the only local still, like the closest locals to me are still an hour. So
Oof.
driving to those is an ass, but I hope to hopefully I'll be able to get over my fear of the highway and drive there and play some tournaments.
Oh yeah. That's I have a similar issue. Again, I'm like, an hour and a half away from where I work. The two closest ultimate locals. One is one's in Ventura, which is like literally an entire county over, which would probably be like a 2.5 hour drive. The other one that I do go to more regularly is like still like an hour and a half south of me. I want to say there's a Verdugo for Melee in Burbank, which is also still about an hour and some change south of me. But that's like on a Monday. As someone who has a regular 9 to 5, I can't really go to a Verdugo, or not a Verdugo, whatever it's called now.
You got like a 12-hour window for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess like the moment I realized that like it's really not about the competition for me was whenever like Gaylee started to become really big and people started to ask me to like host stuff for them, and I realized that I could put on shows and cool streams that people enjoy, like the streams that I always admired as a Melee spectator. I could try to put on shows like that, and I did, and it was fun. So that was for most of my career, I've always really focused on TOing, and then whenever I have locals that I can go to, like Evansville, whenever I went to college, that's also when I like really focus. But like my junior and senior years, I was like kind of where I was at my best because I was practicing for my locals all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went from like being number 10 on the PR of Evansville all the way up to number 1 after a while.
Whoo, jeez. And honestly, people say they've been ranked 1 in their area.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a couple people that are like obviously better than me, like Matt Tyro, who's top 100.
Mm-hmm.
He's a top 100 Luigi man. I beat him once. And
then you can still take that win.
Yeah. And then there's like a Desert. He's a Marth player named Desert who's like really he's a hidden boss. He's really good. And then I have like a player who's on a similar level to me. His name is Lee, and he's the one who he really challenges me. The two are retired basically. SMH.
It's funny. It's funny that like some people like try to come in right away and then they find their spot in the scene after the fact. Do you know Jerry?
Like the Puff main or the Puff/Fox/Puff main?
No, Jerry, the TO. I'm gonna say former TO because I don't think he TOs anymore, and head of Top Shelf Gaming. If you remember them, they put together Wave Dash out here in SoCal.
No, but go on.
So he had said that like the first time he like had anything involving like Melee, like his first tournament was a tournament that he threw. He was like working out like at a card shop or something, and he was told, "Hey, we're gonna do a 24-hour thing to raise to make money. We're basically gonna do like a marathon thing." And he's like, "But since you're like the lowest man on the totem pole, you're gonna get the worst hours." And he goes, "All right, fine, I'm gonna do whatever I want." And he said he was going to do a Melee tournament. And they're like all dejected because like, you finally were able to do a Melee tournament despite the fact we were giving you the runaround for years or for a long time. But like, it wasn't even like a real Melee tournament. It was like 4-person free for all with like weird rule sets or whatever. And then eventually like some folks showed up and it's like, hey, hey man, we really like this spot. Let's show you what a real tournament looks like. So his introduction into the scene was being a TO. Granted, he did go positive. I think he said a Genesis 3 with his puff. So, take that, he was still able to go positive at an early Genesis. And he's a TO, so hold that for some people. It's like his journey, like in the scene, was being like those like background people, so to speak, that like a lot of people don't really think about if they're just relatively casual into like viewing the thing or just showing up, and they don't really think about the people in the background that put everything together: the stream runners, the TOs, the pool captains, the graphic artists, all these side people that like make the thing that people are watching even exist in the first place.
Yeah, and like the cool thing about like all this stuff is like I've seen people like start careers just by being like adjacent to people who do these kind of things. Like I know people who have started whole broadcasting careers just because they started helping out with Smash streams. Not even because they just ran the company, just because they're like, oh, like I know all the lingo now. Like I just kind of know how to do this.
Yeah, I think on the ultimate side, one of the funny, or not one of the funny ones, one of the best like crossover people is probably Vicky Kitty. I think she competed for a little bit of time, but I know her more as a commentator. Eventually she got brought on and she started broadcasting Apex Legends. Like she's been flown out to like in-person things, like these giant esports things or whatever. And it's like, oh, this is literally someone that like someone could have fought against their Kirby type of deal. And like those kinds of examples of like these humble origins in these DIY spaces can lead to like such a like big, tremendous like leap in life because of like the skills that they attain just trying to like have a fun tournament in their backyard or whatever,
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm really thankful for all the skills that I picked up in Melee. I often like resent the time I spent in Melee because I'm like, I could have put these into cooler skills. I could be better at drawing now. But in reality, Melee made me better at like talking to people and like maybe better with my anxiety and like understanding the nature of competition and like self-love and all these things. Video editing, graphic design, to be like more skill wise, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. A real world skill, so to speak. I think the other thing too is like, again, with the whole idea of like me coming from, a very physically like tribalistic type of like scene that in like the punk scene or whatever, like interactions with people and like how to understand like interpersonal communication through like verbal and nonverbal means is something that like I guess people kind of like don't think about. So like when there's someone who's like doesn't understand like the unspoken rules of like interacting with people within the scene because their only exposure is online, they kind of like they don't see that like those kinds of interactions and like what different things really mean when you're in person. And that's why like specifically like in all fighting games and everything in general, but like Melee even more, because it's like there's such an established like type of history that's existed that really exemplifies itself with being in person in its best form. And like seeing that it really helps people like understand why people can, behave the way that they do, and why, what makes you think about how do I interact with the person? Because you can rage all you want in your bedroom yelling at, whoever, on unranked, on Slippy, but like, if that's the kind of person you are, you're not really going to be able to survive. For some people, like developing those skills, like in person, is how they can survive in the real world, really,
Like, I mean, like, if you take how many like average rages you'll hear online playing like League of Legends in a day compared to like how many you'll see in a whole weekend at a Smash tournament.
Yeah.
It's astounding. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Everyone wants to embarrass themselves first of all.
No.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I don't want to be taken for a buffoon. What the hell?
GR Smash has like reduced the strength of the Panopticon a little bit because he's gone now. But
yeah. I mean, you know what? Forget that. We need to bring more shame and let's start recording. Start recording people's reactions again if they're so they can learn how to behave. No.
yeah, well, I've heard we're doing a new circuit with Palantir, and like Palantir's gonna use AI to find the saltiest moments, and they're gonna create awesome clips.
Hell yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're on Discord right now, so like Palantir has our information even more again.
Yeah.
Considering what Persona is also funded by Peter Thiel.
Well, what you doing, Peter Thiel?
So like you're now like TOing and stuff, right? At this point.
Yas.
So like at what point did you realize like or what point did you have like this or did you even have this like idea that like I'm known as the TO and now I'm starting to like really being like asked about it in that regard? Was it just like through the TOing that you've done in the past and we can side tangent into this, or was it Gaylee that like kind of catapulted that whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, like Gaylee is when I realized that like if I like just like say something cool enough, like it'll find a lot of people. So I just was like, okay, I'll just start doing really cool things, and so I just tried to do as many cool things as I can with Gaylee, and I had a lot of help. A lot of people helped me along the way. Yeah, and I may have not been the best TO. I mean, I was like this crazy TO. I was severely insane. I'm not insane, but I was very. I want to self-diagnose or anything or like say I just had. You can have manic episodes without saying you're bipolar, but I would have these crazy manic episodes, I guess.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, I gotta plan this entire tournament. I gotta do all the hard stuff first, and then normal me will just go on it. So I would spend like 2 days like in a frenzy, like hosting all this, and then I wake up the third day, be like, oh my god, I have to host like Project Jam Summit now. So yeah, really, it was just because like I don't know, whatever I would, and I liked graphic design. I got to do the design for my tournaments, and I was video editing. So anytime I started hosting a tournament, I'm like, A, I get to talk to people, and I get to give people money because I get to pay them for their services, and then I get to upload videos on YouTube, and those numbers go up. And then I get to do graphic design and video editing. It's two of my favorite things, so I just kept posting them because every moment of it was so fun.
Oh
But
man.
I wasn't like an incredible TO. Like I certainly had my flaws, and luckily Melee is such a strong community that I had like a lot of great people helping me out every time.
What was the so for me, like my first like earliest thing seeing something Gaylee related, I want to say was like 22 or something along those lines. I want to say that was like the first thing I heard. Like, but how far back does Gaylee actually go?
2020.
2020? Okay.
Or maybe even 2019.
Okay. As far as like putting something on and not just being that server that you said you just started like throwing together, like what was like the first like real like true forward push with Gaylee?
We started doing the weeklies, and then we started doing the PR, and then like I made like a big combo video for the PR, and then we did Gaylee Summit, which is like a net play invitational with all like the best players from it, and we had like custom art done, and we had like a cool stream done, and that was fun. And then we did it again, and we had like a bunch of tournaments, and those got like super popular. We had like 40 entrants. Like there was like a week where we had like 40 entrants a week. Like
nice.
the point. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that was the point. I guess.
what was that like first like what was that first summit like? Like how like did it come to you in a dream, or was it like something that like I think it has to be done? Like what was that process like to like eventually like doing that first like invitational, and like what was going through like your mind, and like what was the timeline of like things that happened?
Yeah, I mean, my thing was like, what's gonna make this different than other netplay tournaments? It's gonna be that the stream looks cool as heck, because like it's the only way to differentiate it nowadays. So I made sure to get like custom fight kind of like Street Fighter 2 sprites of all the invited players to like have for instead of the player cams, and I had like a really pretty overlay.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure like it was like cool to watch, and I had like a lot of elements that you can't really do in a when you have to like be showing the webcam all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tried to make it, seem different and like more thought out.
But as far as like what like was it just like I just want to make something different, or did like because even then like we're still in this like we're still in this like timeline where like just overall like queer representation is very, I want to say, poor in certain aspects, but like it's still a struggle to like allow proper like spotlight of like the queer community members, right? We are literally in a time right now where all these protections for queer people in general are like being
Yeah.
threatened, being rolled back. Like despite the fact like even the polling on like some of these initiatives is very unpopular, the culture narrative is still pushing towards the eradication of queerness and its visibility. So like, is that something that like you thought of, or was it just like this is going to be my conduit?
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly like considering how melee is like kind of like it is a refuge from the material world in
Yeah.
a way. You go here because you don't want to deal with that other stuff, and a lot of people want to come here because they want to forget that kind of stuff, and they have varying degrees of reasons. But for some reason, a lot of LGBT people play this game. Mostly, I don't know why. I can't say why. There's like a million. There's too many reasons to say why that like saying one feels like it matters more than like the millions of others, but it really doesn't. But yeah, they do. Um, so I just kind of wanted to give them a space, and I was just the first one to do it, really. And
Mm-hmm.
then COVID happened, and I was like, oh, I need something to do.
Mm.
And there wasn't Slippy ranked yet, and there wasn't like Melee Online, but so I got like a bunch of people in before that happened. It just kind of grew in the weeklies, and I had a lot of good staff. And I was really strict about the no straight people rule, and I think people found that was really funny.
That's just
There was
funny.
no
Like
success.
you can always joke, it's like, but no, I'm the LGBT foe. I need to infiltrate so I know how to be a trans misogynist in the most appropriate ways possible.
I blow them up with my eye beams.
Yeah, I don't know how many years of estrogen that takes, but like I heard that happens. I don't know if there's a specific mix or specific one. Yeah, I think that's funny that like there was this, I forgot the name of the YouTuber, but there's this video called "Why Are Fighting Games So Gay?" And in it she explores like the high concentration of like trans people, queer people in general, that find themselves in fighting games in one way or another, whether it be traditional fighters, whether it be melee, whether it be ultimate, PM, whatever it happens to be. there is this like large concentration of queer people coming to these areas of the gaming sphere. And while like I can't remember the exact like end thesis of the video, it comes down to like why people are attracted to Melee in the first place once they go to somewhere somewhere for the first time. It's a personable in-person interaction that forces you to confront the person that's presenting who they are in the way they want to be presented and be respected. And for us, we have to see these people for the persons that they are and the persons they want to be. And, you know, understand that this is the kind of person they've been the entire time. And this might be the only place where they're allowed to do it.
Yeah, and like finally be in an environment where it's not like rewarding or permissible to like oppress those people, I guess, if like they don't have other spaces to learn.
Mm-hmm. And that's like it's funny that like for some people like in the scene, in the gaming sphere, it will be a Melee tournament or a Smash tournament that they will like despite like their like homophobic or transphobic tendencies, this will be the first time they interact with someone and they don't realize that they are treating them like a normal person the way that person wants to be treated in the entirety of their game, the entirety of their set match, the entirety of pulling up on friendlies, talking to each other, and not engaging in that like learned behavior of like of this like reactionary tendency to behave in a homophobic or transphobic way, because the thing that's keeping them together and keeping them interaction are, you know, hitting the sticks and doing a sick clippable moment on one another back and forth. You know what I mean?
And it goes back again, since there's no money in Melee, there is no motivation to keep others down. So really the only way you can get anything out of Melee is if the scene is thriving and everybody's happy. So you have no motivation to be wrong to others.
Yeah. I mean, also it's very easy to like socially ostracize someone or very difficult to try to socially ostracize someone when you have the pressure of literally the entire venue looking at you like you're the crazy person for doing that. And so all I'm saying is, well, I'm glad we're still able to have the impact of shame on, at least on our part of society.
Yeah.
At least in that regard. And there's just like, I guess also some too, like some people don't understand that like that person on the other side of that like profile picture that's actually going to tournaments, that's like actually hanging out with people in their scene, if they say some weird shit and it's like, I don't think you understand who this person really is, because you're not in person with them experiencing that like that connection when you're sitting next to them and like you know trying to like take stocks in the silliest ways possible, try to like say like, oh, no B moves whatsoever type of deal, or just some dumb nonsense, right?
Just even a simple laugh after a silly stock.
Exactly. You know, the concept of the homie stock always hitting when someone does something dumb. You know, that's something that like people only really truly get to experience in person. And to me, that's probably part of the reason why we have so many queer people in the scene, because like in some ways that thing becomes like a tertiary identity to, this is a person I'm playing against right now. This is my doubles partner for randubs or whatever. This is my opponent. You know, this is someone who asked for some friendlies, someone who wanted to get on the rotation, you know, someone who wanted matchup experience, whatever. And the way I see it, it's like it's almost like a sigh of relief that I feel like some people have, that like their like gender expression, their orientation becomes like a tertiary like signifier of their identity in that regard, because it's not like something that has to be on the forefront. It's like that one place where some of those walls can come down at least a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely, because like, and like, there's no systemic oppression on you in Melee. You could just go and you can enter and you can have fun, and the community is on average going to have your back, if something happens to you.
Yeah.
Unlike the world, so or else, I can't see why you wouldn't want to be interested in being a part of it, especially with all the friends you can make.
The at a certain point too, like you also get to have that that experience of like, if someone wrongs you, the person that was literally hugging you and shaking your hand for like doing us like, a sick stock will be there in your DMs asking, saying, hey, is everything all right? I saw what happened. Or like, hey, I saw that, somebody was doing something. Do you need help? Like, that's where that connection happens. And it's very rare. It's going to become rarer and rarer as like these in-person scenes start becoming more difficult to, I want to say sustain, but more difficult to like, spring up without the passionate people that are there. Because I want to say we're like in this other time in not just Melee's career, but Smash's career in general, where like the old heads of the local scenes, of more regional scenes, are moving on. They're in that next phase in life. And the newer generation that's under their tutelage have to make sure that presses forward. We've had probably about 2 generations now, maybe give or take, 2, possibly 3 generations since the inception of Melee. And it's like, are we making sure we're setting up the future of the scene properly so that they have another generation of people to take the CRTs home in their giant box trucks for the next local that's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, really, like, it doesn't matter who's piloting it, as long as we have local TOs, like, locals are gonna happen, but, like, the only, like, thing that ever we have a risk of going away ever is really the big tournaments. Like, I think Melee will mean less and less, once we lose Genesis, and we lose all these tournaments that people have been winning for all these years, and it just becomes these new names that, might lose a bit of pizzazz then. So that's really like the only thing that like we're in danger of losing. There's always going to be TOs, whether it's clout chasers, people who need something to do, people who want tournaments because they're fun projects to undergo and they want to see a lot of people in one room, and those who foolishly seek profit from it. So I think it'll always be okay.
I want to say those who try to seek profit from it don't stay around for too long. I don't know if you heard of or remember Thunder Gaming.
Oh yeah, Thunder Gaming.
That was really an attempt to do something now, wasn't it?
So many silly moments with that stuff.
I think about that from time to time, and I'm like, yo, that really happened, didn't it? Funny enough, I think Jerry, this guy from Top Shelf, I want to say he said he had some interactions with it's Christian Bishop, I think the guy's name is, from Thunder, and it's like, oh, this is what you're trying to do, huh? I mean, what would have been better, like dealing with him or dealing with the fallout of Panda? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I really think the panda stuff couldn't have gone worse. Really, it's really funny how that all played out. Really, just couldn't have gone worse, huh?
The crazy part about it was like it fell apart because one person was a very effective but ruthless businessman, and he didn't realize how much he tied himself and his identity to the greater like Panda project.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's pretty insane that like one ruthless businessman really just made an entire empire fall completely. Between threats and like bad practices and like everything that like would burn a bridge is kind of what he did in order to get his name and clout off of it, which at the end like ended up ruining like a bunch of people's careers at the far end. There's some people who've worked on that stuff that like are omega bitter that like things ended the way that it did. There's some people who worked on the Panda stuff that like are definitely clocked what was happening from the very beginning for like certain projects, and it's like, oh, I know what's going on here. Yeah, dude, I'm not trying to participate in this after everything that I'm seeing with my foresight of what will turn out. There was a lot of that going on, and he happened to times his identity to Panda in the worst way, and
yeah,
oof. I think it would have been a lot better if they were able to oust him like that, like faster, and be like, "Hey, we got a new guy. We got someone else."
I can't even remember all the shit that was wedged against him. So much stuff, so many docs, so many videos. It's just over now. Yeah,
and it's funny because like it's like, oh no, the Panda controller. Apparently, there's 3 in existence.
Wow.
3 Panda controllers in existence somewhere.
They gave them all the
pandas. Yeah, I don't know. It's actually really funny. I told this to Jerry in one of our conversations that the week of the Panda Cup, or the week before the Panda Cup. So this was like right before everything drops. The VGBC like cease and desist, and the whole like downfall of Panda. Like the week before that, I hear a radio ad to join the last chance qualifier for the Panda Cup after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee on the radio. Like, I was like, yo, that's insane. And then like that week is when everything like dies.
I'd be like, my radio just called me gay. Like, what the
Yeah, it was so insane that happened. I invested in the controller, SMH. Yeah, I did too. I was like, all right, let me put $100 towards this. I would love to see where this goes. And like, I think they raised like $2 million or something like that. And they had to like cancel and refund everybody. I don't know if that's neither here nor there. Actually, no, that is part of the here or there, because that proves that like, again, the local and DIY nature of the scene will always survive and thrive, because one of their best players, then IBDW, Cody Schwab, is like still always one of the top contenders, and he's basically crowdfunded his entire career post like the closure of CLG. You know what I mean?
He's funded by that, and he's funded by mobile games.
And occasionally Egg Dog, and what else? No, that's really about that. Yeah. But these are the things that we do for the passions of what we have. And it's kind of fucked up that like someone who was Cody Schwab like ranked number 1 twice in a row, or was it Once, then Zane, then him,
I think it was like once, and then also in the summer.
and in the summer. So like someone that was ranked 1 for the year, like has 0 sponsor. And has to like rely on people going raid Shadow Legends in order to like go to Supernova or whatever.
What's up, guys? I'm playing this game called Empire of Ants. So I'm like an ant. This game's pretty sick. I'm an ant.
It's like
so holy shit. That's a Cody stream. I love it.
One of the funniest. I wish I could have like watched the stream more, but he wanted to prove that like, all right, let's see if someone can get like really good on box controller. Who can recommend a controller? And he ended up going with the Gram controller, which I happen to have one right here. My little Gram.
Hello.
It's my Gram. Sadly, they're moving on to bigger and better things. I also have my little open source one that I made.
What'd you make it out of?
Yeah. So I printed the purple caps. The black ones were part of some ones that I ordered from JLC PCB. This frame that I have on here, which is considered purple gray, has like purple and gray tones to it. I 3D printed myself. The board is one of the only things I bought outright, and this bottom plate. I ended up getting some acrylic, and I was able to get this acrylic cut, which is like a semi-reflective iridescent. Turns out it was wrong. We cut the wrong side, but I actually like the way like the matte looks on it. Super lightweight, super fun. If you ever want to like make your own, and you have like a spare $170, you can buy a bunch of boards and get a bunch of frames 3D printed.
There's like a doc out there that shows you how to build one for way cheaper. I mean, that was pre-tariff, so I'm not sure nowadays.
It was, but I also have the infamous.
Is that like a cardboard box?
Yes, and a Pico board and some wiring.
Oh, okay. Did that work out for you? Did that one work out for you?
It was so fun. It was so cool. It was really awesome. I ended up making one out of like a Christmas box, like the kind of boxes that you see at like at what's it called? At like TJ Maxx. Like, oh, you can use this as your gift box or whatever, and it's like very hardened, like cardboard. I turned one of those into a controller and I gave it away for Christmas one year. And the guy who got it's like, yo, this is so cool. Thank you. Oh yeah, I made one for my brother. He still has his.
Little gamer boxes.
Yup, that's one thing that I feel like we're missing out on, at least in Smash in general. We don't get to have weird giant like projects. Like aside from like fobs or whatever, the next best thing is like Pro GCC.
Yeah.
Like there's not like on there like this is like a third party like faceplate, but in here is the 3.0. Is it 3.0? Yeah, the 3.0 Pro GCC from Handheld Legends.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game controller has a lot of good customizable like parts. I don't know. I'll die on the hill for the game controller.
I mean, I don't have very much on mine. Like, I literally just have like the face buttons like that are black. But I'm cool with OEM. I don't need too much on there. You know, I'm not trying to like fob it up or whatever. At least for me, like I don't really need it.
So you play on box?
Say again?
So you play on box?
Sort of. Like when I play again, I'm more of an Ultimate person. When I play Terry, Terry Bogard on in Ultimate. His stuff is feels very intuitive on my controller over here. It's very intuitive, especially because like motion inputs are so like easy to do. You know, plinking and whatever, especially like needing to do like DP inputs for certain the input version of some of his moves. So like that like is really fun. I can do the Kazuya combos. I don't have the movement to play Kazuya, but I can do the electrics combos and everything. And it's very frustrating when people see it. They're like, "Oh no!" I took my controller once to a local, and I said, "All right, we're gonna be putting ins. All right, $1. Whoever can do the most electrics in a row gets the prize pool. The prize pool was like $10. The guy who won did 4 in a row.
Oh, yeah. There's a crazy Tekken scene in my hometown. So there's this guy named DJP who's just like gonna launch like 80 in a row.
And so we have a decent sized Tekken scene out here too, and they actually go to the same venue as the Smash tournament I go to, the Ultimate tournament. Now, see, this is the other good thing about like having DIY venues of like this nature, like all these other fighting game scenes, because they're the same kind of way where like they respect Smash and Melee because of its DIY nature, because otherwise they won't have a place to go either.
Yeah.
It's very much the same kind of deal, you know.
It's like, damn, if I fuck up, my fucking Tuesday nights are gonna suck.
True. I kind of wanted to ask now. All right, so like you've done the Gaylee Summit. You know, I'm assuming you're still TOing a little bit. There, some other stuff on the side. I mentioned that like you had written some of the blurbs for Top 100.
I did do that, yeah.
How did that like happen? Like, how did that start? Like, did like did someone approach you, or was it like something that like, hey, I want to submit for?
I started doing it in like junior year of high school. Really, I remember I wrote a blurb for Duck and Ginger that year, and then I did it for like 2 years, and I stopped doing it, and then I got on the I got on the panel for the ballots, just because of all the tournaments I was hosting with Gaylee, and on the net play tournaments I was hosting. So, I got on there, and then they were asking for like blurb writers, and I was like, "Oh, me, I have an English degree, and I write all the time." So they let me on. And then this year I decided to get really creative with it, and because like I usually like calmed it down a little bit, because I was like, oh, you know, but now I'm just like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and I was like, I'm gonna compare Wizrobe to like Emmanuel Kant, and I'm gonna like use transcendental idealism to like understand him, and like, you know what
what was so Duck and Ginger, your very first one? What? Yeah. Oh God, how long ago was that then?
I mean, I had to have been like 8. No, not 8. Like 7 years ago.
Ooh, yeah, because
no, it's 9 years ago. It's 9 years ago for sure.
Yeah, some of these slippy kids don't know who Duck is.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these slippy kids definitely don't know Duck.
He's an interesting fella.
Oh man. So God. So you've now been in this scene now for at least 9 years, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
So
10
like
years total.
10 years total, like
in March. 10 years in March, yeah.
How do you like, does it hit you a little bit that like you've been in the scene contributing for as long as you did or as long as you are? Like, was there a moment like a little bit early into this, like, man, I've been a part of this like thing that's been bigger than me for such a long time, and like I do have like this certain small status within the scene, and like, is that something that like washes onto you, or is it something you don't really think about and never had a moment where it was something to be thought of?
Well, I mean, I've always known it's like a big part of my life, and I always known that it's like it's gonna define me in some way, but I've never focused on that, I guess.
It was never something quantifiable. It was just like living in it. But like, is
Yeah.
it something that
It's
like you've
it's
reflected on the time that like that is transpired because of it?
yeah, all the time, but I guess it all feels like it's one big moment in the present, you know?
Hmm.
Like, I feel like my first term was just yesterday, so there's no reflecting on it.
Oh, so I think it's kind of funny that like there's this like lost concept of time that like people don't really think about, which is why I always try to tend to ask like, was there a moment where you think of blah? Is there a moment where you've realized such and such item, or did you first see the thing that's whatever? Because oftentimes people don't have that moment to like look back and look at the totality of the body of existence that they had within the scene, and like count and take, pause of and look at like all the accomplishments and like interactions with people that they've had that like put them where they are in the scene to the point in when I'm talking to them. And the fact that like you see it, that like it's all one big like nice continuous moment of existence is a tad bit refreshing, because most people don't think about it until they're kind of forced to be confronted with that the reconciliation of being in the scene for as long as they end up being in.
Yeah, like, for me, it's like it's hard to think of it as in the past because it's just, like, all strung together, they're all positive memories that I wanna keep, so I all carry them all with me.
what was uh what was something that like, as you like you reflect, like either like whenever you do or like kind of experience, like what is something that like are some key moments you think about, like if someone asks you what does your time in the scene mean in your bigger moments, like are there moments that you like can pick out individually and say these are the kinds of things that represent either my time in the scene or represent what the scene means to me?
Um, yeah, I mean, just, like, basically going to locals and the friendships that I forged there over time and, like, all the people that have, like, come in my life because of Melee, and that will be in my life forever because of Melee. That's, like, the number 1 thing, and then number 2 are just, like, these, like, fragment moments, like, these really nice memories I have, fleeting memories of the views I've seen traveling for Melee and, like, how beautiful, like, some of the venues are and how cool the side of all these gamers are, like, it's awe, you know? Those are
Mm-hmm.
some of the best Melee. I don't know if that was the question, but I was trying to answer it that way. Like, the best memories of Melee.
No, because that's the thing. Like, some
It's
people like quantify the best parts of it with like physical moments. It's like, oh, I was there when this happened and I liked
yeah.
this.
Like, I was there when Plot beat Armada and, like, the crowd was roaring and my iPhone 4, like, was peaking because of people all cheering and just, like, cheering for Indiana players at small regionals and, like, seeing what they're doing and watching on Twitch and practicing and seeing, like, "Oh, this is my first tournament in, like, fucking 4 months, we'll see how I'll do." And just that basically always being the case, and now it still is the case to this
Yeah,
day.
because like I think when you experience so much, you don't like have a physical memory. It's all like different like um amalgamations of like sense memories of like being in a crowd, like hugging someone you haven't seen in a long time and like having that repeat sense memory over and over again or something.
Yeah.
And like that is definitely that's definitely something that like a lot of people don't take into account or like can even think about when it comes to trying to like reflect on your time in the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, my favorite part is, like, because 'cause I'm, like, I don't know if this is, like, a weird part of me or if it's not right for me to like this, but I like whenever I just, like, sleep in this randomly assigned location. Like, Smash will just send you on little quests, like, life is so algorithmized, like, it's just an algorithm, like, you go here, do this, go to
Yeah.
work. Smash is like, "I'm gonna have to send you to this town and, like, like, Indiana, and you have to find somewhere to sleep, and you could it's on you." And you could use, like, these apparatus of capital to, like, try to find a way to, like, attend this tournament, but it's on you. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, again, it's the it's why I think like smash scenes in general, like PM, Ultimate, Melee, like while they're like we're cousins of the FGC, like the broader FGC, a lot of what we see as far as like the people who go, it feels a tad bit more polished in that like, yeah, I'm going to go to a hotel or get an Airbnb. How often do you see that compared to like some random person from like, like I don't know, like Montana who's like going to like Genesis, like, hey, can somebody house me? Like
Yeah,
otherwise I'm going to sleep on the floor at the venue because it's 24 hours.
yeah, I've really never seen anything like that.
But I'm telling you, the only closest thing that I have to that I've seen like regularly was being like in the punk scene and everything and seeing that like all that a degenerate attitude, degenerate energy. I'm going to sleep on the floor if that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love sleeping on floors. I'm an avid floor sleeper thanks to Melee.
What are those folks that can only like have a straight back by sleeping on the floor going forward? um so you have like all these like amalgamations of like experiences and moments like in the scene. Like, is there something that like you can point to that like if you had a moment that you needed to point to like show someone what this is about, where would you like take that person? Like, would it be, like the random after major tournament, like dinner at a diner? Would it be, the a prime local? Would it be, a smash fest of some sort? Like, what would you say like that quintessential experience would be the place that you would take someone to like truly understand what it means to be in this kind of space?
Um, hmm. It's very specific. It's gotta capture everything, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to capture everything. It has to capture
But
everything to what it means to you. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it means a lot of things, you know? A lot of things. Yeah, really, like a Smash Fest. I don't know. Yeah, it's either a Smash Fest, everybody's like watching the major, and it's on the TV, but everybody's like playing on the CRTs, and then like
Hmm.
the set goes really sick, and you're like, oh my god, who's about to beat who? Those are my favorite moments, really. Is
Yeah.
like is the upsets.
That like
So I guess like a local
shared
hero upset.
experience.
Yeah.
that shared experience of being like, oh, we're all holding controllers. Everyone stops for a second and turns over. What?
Yeah, people hiding behind and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's funny that like there's again, like when it comes to like the gaming sphere, there's not really a lot of that like other gaming scenes even have. Like the FGC, like the traditional FGC probably has that, but like there's no real like version of it because of how analog the game is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Besides like online TeamSpeak games, stuff like that, you don't really get to like get feedback like that.
I mean, how often, like you said, can you pop off for the local hometown hero taking on?
No, we never did that. So, yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff doesn't really exist in like those other spaces.
Unless your pal's popping off in the CS:GO game, it's like 1v6.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it right now.
Well, yeah.
I would say right now, like I'm not going to know that. I'm far less likely I'm going to know that than like a recent thing was for Genesis, Monty from SoCal and Ultimate. He ended up getting 5th, so he got to top 8, ended up going 0-2 and we're effing a little bit. Yeah, whatever. He ended up getting top 8, and like all of SoCal is behind him. That he had some major wins, that like this is a dude who like I saw and met for the first time like at this point now 5 years ago, and I wanted to ask him like, hey, who is like who's like one of your mains? And he's like Dr. Mario. It's like Dr. Mario in Ultimate's weird. And now like he could say he top 8'd to Genesis. Like that kind of stuff doesn't really happen in like other kinds of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he plays Bowser Jr.?
No. Oh wait. Dr. Mario. Yeah, he says he uses Dr. Mario as a pocket. He plays Game and Watch, but he plays like he has like, huh?
Evil.
Well, he doesn't go for the 9s. He doesn't go for the 9s. Unlike the other like the actual best Game and Watch and Ultimate Mia, he's a tad bit of a poster and a clip farmer. He'll go for the buffoonery, and I think right now like one thing that like Melee is missing. Because it's now becoming like it's maturing, obviously, which is probably why we're not seeing very many of these moments. Is that Ultimate is starting to have, because it's such a young youth. I want to say youth centric, because like they're all usually about 10 to like 20 years younger than some of the people in the Melee scene. They love posting, like doing like shit posting and clip farming, because like they'll start dancing after a win, or like they'll post themselves, like a Japanese player start like post themselves in the club and like going up to people, even though they don't know exactly what it means, they'll be like, my boy. Which I think we need a little bit more of that in Melee. You know what I mean?
Rat Monster's ringing and you know.
Oh yeah. Oh god. He's that new gen. Another one who's like that, OG Kid.
Oh my god.
OG Kid is definitely like that too.
He's missed so many times.
He'll hit a rest, turn around to start KO, selfies in the middle of it.
Oh wow, that's insane. It's pure theatrics for these kids.
I know, and I love it, honestly. And I think we need more of it. We still need it. And I think that's also part of the things that like add to like the longevity of like having a weird way of entering to the scene. We have silly little moments like that, like Rat Monster just being the way that Rat Monster is. And also, like, if you pay attention, he actually won like a PM like major. Like, what was it, like 4 months ago? Something along
Yeah, I
those
mean,
lines.
where I first heard of Rat Monster was him winning like freaking Wombat Wednesdays.
Yeah,
Whenever I was like, yeah, like he used to win like PM net play weeklies before he was like any good at melee, and then he like switched to melee, and I was like, oh shit, that's gonna be scary, and he was really good at it, and now he's like top 30.
yeah. I think I
Five.
saw the highest debut on highest debut on the ranking for someone his age that was only beat that because he beat out like Wizrobe by
Yeah,
like two placements.
he was only beat about Wizard, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think technically, like who's like the highest like actual debut? Was that J Mook?
Yeah.
Because like I think he got like 5 in the world like on his first like ranking
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. That's never gonna be beaten.
No, that's
Maybe
never gonna happen again.
actually, I don't even know. Actually, it's probably gonna be beaten. I don't know.
Who knows?
Actually, yeah, I don't know. There's no way, but yeah.
You know what I want one day? I don't remember. I don't know if you remember. It was a little after like J Mook's like explosion for the scene. There was this like little girl. She was like 8, could have been no older than 8 or 9, and she was playing Sheik.
Well, I remember that.
And they're like, guys, look, the posture. he's like J Mook. And girl was locked in. Girl was locked in. Like I want her to have like that experience of like being ranked one day. It's like everyone booed I don't even remember who the Yoshi player was, but everyone booed him for winning. It's one of those moments that like you can't really have that. And again, we keep talking about these little moments, but like stuff like that doesn't happen in a lot of other games.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know, I think.
Yeah, the other game, like, well, your daughter will have to buy like a $200 registration pass, and you have to also buy a $200 registration pass, and also, we won't put it on stream. We won't put it on stream. You know, we gotta run ads instead.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the funny ones of like one of the funny things along those lines is like as long as you prime the children to do it, like they will naturally want to just play melee instead. Yeah. Because Cypher from freaking Bottom of the Smash Mountain was talking once on the pod that like, yeah, he has ultimate or whatever, but he's playing melee on his CRT, and his daughter was saying that like, I want to play Peach, but I don't want to play on this one. I want to play with you. And she just like picked up the GameCube controller, and how he said, like, oh, that was like one of the sweetest moments he had when his daughter chose melee over anything, because he saw that she can still play Peach, and she still wanted to play Peach, but just want to play Peach with Dad.
Yeah, I mean, you just know, right? Melee has Melee exists within the collective consciousness, like within the realm of the forums. Like, so whenever you see it, like you don't just see Melee, you see like the archaic ideal Melee represents, and you're drawn to it.
Yeah. It's like these ancient tomes or ancient knowledges and martial arts that's being passed by through generations and generations of people. You know. And the funny part is like the remnants of like those early parts of the scene like still exist to this day. It could still, you know, run a handful of rotations if they wanted to. I remember when I went to Wave Dash, there was a guy there who was freaking running sets with like a bunch of people who clearly looked to be like at least half of his age. And this guy couldn't been a day under 60. He looked like he was like he looked like he was in his late 50s. And he was just running the rotation on these youngsters, playing some of that Golden Age style melee or something. It's like, oh, this guy picked up the GameCube controller to compete when he was in his 30s for sure.
Yeah.
So, like, one thing I do want to ask, like, you've had these like collections of like experiences through Melee, and like, have you like taken pause, like, aside just from like the friendships and everything, like, have you taken pause on like and thought about like what are some like the impacts it's had on you with like, you know, the discovery of like what feels to be like your place within the world, or like your overall identity, like how much of like Melee's influence allowed you to really explore those parts of yourself in your life?
Well, a lot of it, I mean, I would just go somewhere and then I'm free to be myself for a long time, and then like I have to just like walk up to people and be like, "Hey, do you want to play?" Like that's like a crazy like step for me socially when I was first starting out. Like it got me to branch out socially. Um, so that's probably the major impact on me. And like I really don't know. Like I can't imagine my life without Melee because it like really made me reshape the way I make friends and reshape the way I approach people and stuff. So that's the
Like,
main impact it had on me. Yeah.
yeah, like there's something that like I think people also forget is like being able to allow yourself to find that place where you can actually do that, right? Like a funny example of like how these kinds of scenes are like so important is there's a commentator, uh Wolfie Scratch, and she posted a while back, or posted for the, what's that horse racing game, uh Umisuma, something like that. It's like
Yeah. Hmm.
the horse girl racing game. So
Hmm.
she like is commentating and posted a picture. It's like, please be nice to me for the first time. This is the first time I'm presenting femme out in public. And it's like someone who's been in the scene for such a long time. And like everyone knows and accepts, accepts them for who they are. And she posts, "Oh, please, I'm so scared." And nothing but like good, like positive interactions, and ended up crying, wanting to cry anyway, but from like positivity. And like these kinds of like explorations of self don't really get to happen in a safer place than a place where you again have to confront everyone's individual existence, because you say the words, "Hey, did you want to run a set?" to a random stranger, you know?
Yeah. Hmm. It makes me see things entirely differently. I mean, immediately you understand what it's like to become a part of a collective.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Again, that
yeah.
the entirety concept of having like this solidarity with one another, because you can, plug into port 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
um Another thing I wanted to ask is like, in the time frame of your scene, of being in the scene, you've seen a lot of things like come and go. You've seen a lot of like of yourself kind of transform and be able to express oneself through multiple mediums. Like, where do you see the future like going forward? Where do you see like any of the like projects of the people around you? Like, how do you see that in the future for, you know, what they have within the scene. Like, where do you predict Melee and Smash General to go? Just based on like any of the trends that you've experienced in your time in the scene.
I think it's gonna be like, you know, a lot more local centered and a lot more like there's gonna be like a few major super majors, and then we're gonna have a lot of regionals, and then I don't know. I think this generation of people that are gonna be hosting tournaments, they're all gonna be like pretty artistic. So we're gonna have like a lot of like very artistic and interesting, visually interesting Smash tournaments with like cool promotional styles, with like cool ideas. It's gonna be cool. I think people are gonna we might like have more things like Smash Camp that totally rethink like why you want to go to a tournament, you know? Because Melee is now a vessel to convene with people in the age of fascism, you know. So now people are trying to think of like, you know, what else can we use Melee as an excuse to do besides just hanging out in the tent in a log cabin? And I think it's a damn good avenue to do it.
There was the oh god, was it the last Smash Camp where they had like toss a box controller to see who can throw it the furthest with a lob.
Oh yeah, the box eating contest.
Yeah, like there's like that kind of stuff like is something that really just recontextualizes people's interactions with each other, and like it brings back like childhood like dumb ideas with the people that are around you. And like it just helps reinforce that kind of thing of like, hey, I bet if I could throw a rock and break that window from all the way over here type of deal. You know what I mean? It's like those kinds of things really do exist in the world still. And that level of escapism and mixing it with the competitive like nature or the competitive thing that brought you in the first place are very much like things that like meld all of that together to create like better experiences for that kind of stuff too, you know?
Yeah. So many different ways Melee is unique, and that's certainly one of them.
One of my favorite like one of my favorite things that I saw like on Summit was like, okay, we're going to be doing this. You know, we do a lot of RPS for bands and everything. Let's just make the RPS tournament and see people tell people out loud, like that kind of thing. Yeah. Right. There was the fundraise, make Plup wear cut jean shorts.
Yeah, and the jorts became a staple for the Plup's iconography.
The jorts. I was like, y'all, we had to raise money to make Plup wear jorts. The fact that was raised like says so much about like the community and their willingness to be like, you know what, I want to see this fun, happy-go-lucky nonsense in the middle of my intense tournament because like it's worth investing time and money into. You know what I mean?
It's Plup. He's the funny guy.
There you go. He comes down from the mountains of wherever he exists, like once every like year, to like ruin different people's runs to take home a belt or something. The other thing too of like one of the, like the differences like we definitely see in Melee versus Ultimate is like because the dedication for Melee is so much stronger in its longevity that like these people have known each other for 10, 15 years and competing with each other for 10 or 15 years. We're now in this point where like, you know, Hungrybox has known half of these people for 20 plus years. You know what I mean? Like these are still staple people within the Melee scene.
Yeah.
That level of like interaction and familiarity with one another is something that doesn't really reflect in the Ultimate scene as much because it's constantly a new wave of individuals, right? Because the Brawl kids eventually dropped when Smash 4 wasn't the game that they were used to playing. The Smash 4 people eventually dropped when Ultimate became a different kind of game that they weren't used to playing. Even there are people who are like good up and comers in Ultimate that eventually dropped because of COVID happening. And then you had like 3 more cycles of generations, even within 1 6-year or 1 8-year lifespan of one game. And it kind of sucks because like the plays in like Mafia were during Beyond the Summit. It's so different, right?
It's like watching Mafia, but it's like Achilles, and it's Achilles and Patroclus, and it's sort of like Scar. That's how it feels. You're watching like, yeah, like oh my god, Spider-Man is Mafia this time, or like oh my god, Bobby Scar. Like that's how it felt when I was in high school watching Mafia.
Yeah, I think
these people are just larger than life to me.
I think the funniest part to me is like the Mafia wins, like hearing, all right, Mafia wins happened so much more at Ultimate Summit than it did at Summit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you don't know.
They don't have that like more than decades long connection interaction with each other. You know what I mean? They don't have that. And like, I feel like, unfortunately, like whatever the mainstream Smash title becomes will kind of always be a little bit of a victim of that, which additionally plays to longevity. You know, it plagues its longevity in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, we have some players. I mean, really, the problem right now isn't that the old school players don't play. It's that the ultimate metagame is so shit that, like, if you don't like portray like your old school instincts and play Steve and just switch your character and don't play the character you've been playing in the past 3 Smash games, because you can't beat Steve, then you can't win. But whenever a new Smash game comes out, Smash Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch 2, like that MKLeo is gonna win the first Super Major with Ike. It's just gonna happen. I can't beat Steve. That's just how it is right now.
It's funny too. It's funny too because like the people, there are certain people who are really good in Brawl had to have like this weird like panic because their character got cut in Smash 4.
Yeah. And Bayonetta wasn't out yet, so yeah.
And then so like someone like Big D, who played Ice Climbers in Melee, Ice Climbers in Brawl, and he was a dedicated Ice Climber and DDD main in Brawl. Like when his true main Ice Climbers got cut in Smash 4, it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to brute force this a little bit with DDD, because DDD was still in the game. Saw that like Ice Climbers are back in Ultimate, and it's like, what a boon to have Ice Climbers again, right? And
he was making some waves for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like another like example of that is like MVD. So MVD was, a Brawl Snake main. So like he had really good success with Snake throughout Brawl's lifetime and his time competing in it. And he had to like figure out what the hell was he going to do when Smash 4 hit and there was no more Snake. And it's like, fuck, what am I going to do now?
Out.
Yeah. So like, he ended up winning the first major of Ultimate with Snake on Don't Park on the Grass. Yeah, so the first actual Ultimate major was Don't Park on the Grass. He ended up winning. No one can take that away from him. Right. But like, that's kind of like, there's in a way, there's like major volatility in like whatever the mainstream Smash title is because of that.
It always just sucks ass. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always this extreme volatility. Yup.
patches and DLCs, and then rage, and then like 70 matchups. Just it just gets bad at the time.
I mean, you gotta grind. You gotta grind to try to like play it. And it's funny because in some matchups, it just goes back to being brawl.
Yeah. When nobody has any combos and
Yeah. Well, not even the combos, like the time set,
yeah,
right? Because like 3 stock game, and
yeah.
it was a freaking it was oh god, was it at Full Bloom? Was it Full Bloom in 2019 where it was an Ices and a Puff and they were timing each other out, and it was it was about to be a timeout, and like it was 1 stock lead, that's it, and that's how the entire timeout happened. I was like, oh god. And
Yeah.
you actually see like S2J like in the background flipping off the stream. I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh yeah, that was a Battle of the BC. That
Was it Battle of the BC? Oh, I thought that was Full Bloom.
Yeah, Chango versus Ice Climbers. Yeah.
Yeah, so like eventually that ends up becoming that.
Yeah. And, I do have to go now.
Okay. Usually we kind of end this with like doing some rapid fire questions back and forth. Do you think you got a spare 20 minutes so that we can go ahead and do that? Or do you not have that time?
Sure, yeah, sure.
All right, so it'll be rapid fire questions back and forth. Can be about melee, can be not about melee, can be smash, can be not about smash, can be about whatever it is, as long as it's super not out of pocket. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip a coin, and I want you to say heads or tails.
Tails.
All right. And we got heads. All right. I'm going to ask the second question, so you go first.
Okay. What's your favorite manga? Do you like manga?
Oh, I've never really read any manga. The only one I've only read a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, and oh god, what's the name of the one vampire one? Hellsing. I read a little bit of Hellsing in middle school.
Okay,
So
cool.
those are my only manga I've ever read, and not very much. I think like 1 or 2 chapters worth. All right. Oh, if there was one ultimate character you could bring to Melee, what character would it be? You'd bring Ridley? Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the easiest ever. He's so badass. Basically, like, I don't know. I remember one time I was like friends with this guy who was modding Ultimate Ridley into Melee, and it just felt like a dream. Because like, if you think about like Ultimate Ridley, he's very Melee-like. He's got Melee-like areas. That's just how I would range.
All right, go ahead. Question number 2.
Are you an animist, or do you believe that consciousness is like from the body, or do you think that the consciousness precedes the body?
I don't think it ties it. I feel like I'm not 100% sure how to describe it, but I feel it tethers itself to the body in some way.
The body's a receiver.
Yeah, because like oftentimes people, well, I want to say people, but like me specifically, sometimes I do feel like I can experience the thing I'm doing from a third person view while I'm still doing it. So it's not like not really a dissociation, but like I'm actively watching myself like from a third person view, kind of like playing this third person player game, and being conscious of like the surrounding existence in that regard. So I feel like it is like you said, like a more of a receiver than anything that tethers itself to a body. So it's simultaneously a part of it, but not really, only because it was able to tether itself to its one body. But once that consciousness is gone, it can no longer exist.
Okay.
At least in its current form.
Yeah. Okay. Good answer.
I'm gonna bust out the classic here. This controller cheating right here?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's a loaded question, right?
Kind of. I don't give a heck. Just let them play. Nobody's gonna beat me because of that controller.
That's funny. All right. Question number 3.
Have you ever played D&D? Oh, cool. Roll dice.
Oh god, I hope my dice don't fall apart. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of dice.
Oh.
You can't really see it, but back here I do have what says is a starter set back here from a I got that from Target. It's like a one-off. My character was a human fighter that had archery, and I was able to get magic arrows.
No, Arcane Archer.
Yeah. But it was supposed to be a human fighter, which is like, how did that happen? I don't know.
That happens, like sorcery, innate stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. I had a javelin that had like a one. I forgot what the exact like what it was called, but like it had a one-time use where it had an AoE like thunder effect, and they told me, oh, whenever I wanted to activate it, I can only use it once per day. It's like, all right, cool. Or during a long rest. I was like, all right, what's the phrase I want to use? Like, I ended up going with Thunder's Rain.
Oh yeah.
I ended up going Thunder's Rain. No one knew what I was talking about. No one knew who I was referencing.
That's good. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while since I played some D&D, but yes, I do. I have played. Side question before I ask my actual question. Do you play D&D?
Yeah.
Like
I'm a DM. So I like because I like to write, so I just kind of like write. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm gonna basically put you through all of Gnostic cosmology, and I'm gonna make you experience that. Have
fun. Well, if you ever need a guest character for a one shot, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll see if I could do it. I've been hankering to play for a while. I have another character I thought of a long time ago that I would really want to use. All right. This is Sky. Oh, if there's one tournament that you've been to that you could go back in time to bring someone to experience in person that you were at, what tournament would it be?
I guess the last Melee on the Grill, where like everybody was like super like drinking a bunch of Coors Banquets, and like it had like a kiddie pool in my backyard, and there was like 40 transgender people in my backyard. That was good.
Nice. That was truly a kick it spot right there.
That one, yeah.
All right. All right. Question number 4.
Yeah. What's like your biggest Melee what if? Like, what if that happened? What if SJ hit that stomp? You know.
Who? I think one of the ones is definitely what if HBox didn't miss that rest against Zane. That's definitely one of them.
SmashCon?
Yeah, Smash Con. There's definitely that. But I think one that like I think about is what if Cola ended up winning that Arcadian?
That
That
would have been cool.
Yeah, what if Cola ended up winning that Arcadian recently? Would have that been the catalyst to make Cola a top 100 ultimate player become the top 100 melee player that like a lot of people can see him being?
Yeah.
And I feel like that could have been the catalyst. Like a lot of also people think Spargo's Marth is really, really good.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so Spargo's Marth is pretty damn good. I think Riddles has a pretty decent. I want to say he plays Falcon. He has a pretty decent Falcon. No, here's the real what if. Would we have had a rap monster a little bit earlier if Tweak would have continued playing Melee along with whatever Smash game he was playing, because he was a Luigi man and he was ranked in like in his local PR like a top 10?
He would have switched to Fox.
You think he would have switched to Fox?
Yeah. I think would have switched to Fox. 100%.
You know, that does sound like him. That does sound like him. That does sound like him. All right. I'm going with another classic. This one's actually lifted from the Goods from the Woods podcast. Shout outs to them. Favorite thing from your childhood that isn't there anymore?
I don't know, like so much.
It can be deep, it can be not, you know, just however you want to answer.
I'll try to do like, I don't know. I feel like the world used to be in sepia tones, and now it's not. Now all the street lights are LEDs, and all the lamps are LEDs. But back in the day, the light bulbs used to be yellow.
They were.
Now, like I feel like most of my life was in yellow, and I don't know. We gotta bring back sepia toned light bulbs, and we gotta bring that back.
Having warm tone light street lights. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
That is a really good one. Because I do remember that, like walking down the street of like after like a house got raided, and like all the street lights were like yellowy from the warm like light colors of the street lights as we walked down to like another one of our friends' house until we get picked up by our parents. Which one of the funniest ones of that was like they put helicopters into somebody's backyard and like four or five police cars just to raid a show in the backyard. But whatever. Well, whatever. It happens. It happens. All right. Your final question.
Do you think let's get political. Do you think Donald Trump's gonna try to do a third term?
I know he wants to. I mean, it's very easy. The writing's on the wall. He's trying to. Steve Bannon has already made many remarks saying that they believe that there are instruments in play to allow him to have a third term. Like Steve Bannon did this dumb thing where he just made up a particular theory. I forget what it was. And then someone in the current Trump administration, so this was him making some nonsense like 30 years ago. And then someone at the point in the current Trump administration is like, well, no, there's precedent based on this legal scholar right here. And lo and behold, the guy just like went back and quoted Steve Bannon. But in the time that Steve Bannon made this nonsense, he was laughed at and people disregarded his legal scholar like paper that he wrote. Didn't fall under scrutiny then, and yet somehow people are pointing to it as if it's part of actual legal theory that can be implemented now. Right. So
Steve Bannon's never done anything wrong.
Exactly, right? So not Steve Bannon. is it Steve Bannon? Freaking he's the guy who did the documentary about
Yeah, Steve Bannon. Yeah, I was saying like yeah, yeah.
the
He's the right
Epstein
guy.
doc,
Yeah,
the Epstein
yeah,
guy but even though the doc never really got released and none of the footage is available. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Steve
yeah,
Bannon. Yeah,
so yeah, Steve Bannon. So yeah, so
one of the
there's
most implicated people.
all of them are. Uh, so with that, I know he's trying to. There's a lot of like moving pieces that got put into place between packing the courts, between using faulty legal scholar writings. The thing is, he's starting to lose favor generally, just on based on polling, so much so that the tracking of presidential approval got shut down for the first time in 80 years.
Yeah, they didn't even
For,
do it, and they don't do jobs. Yeah,
yeah. So that got shut down for the first time in 80 years. So unless Democrats get their shit together and actually pull to the left like they should, instead of trying to dive to the center, which ultimately just makes them right wing. Unless they do that, we are probably going to have a third term for him. I don't want it to happen, but that's very likely the case. One of the forerunners and what people are saying is like, oh, he would be great for the ticket is Gavin Newsom. And he's already trying to implement just like with a little bit of extra shine, right-wing policies that directly attack immigrants, trans people, and online privacy. So like if this is the guy that they're going to try to put in, is like, so you're just trying to put a Republican in as a Democrat, then we are for sure 100% going to get a third one.
There's only like a few established politicians, like Democrat establishment politicians, they could put in that wouldn't make a lot of people really angry.
No, there's a lot of them, and if they appear to want to be put in all of them, they want to do Kamala Harris again. They want to throw Pete Buttigieg in there. You know, Gavin Newsom is like one of the forerunners, like for it, but like all it is just like putting a tourniquet on like a wound that isn't being treated, rather than treating the wound. You know what I mean? That's So ultimately, yes, I feel that there's things that can happen that would probably let that are in place for him to do so. I just hope that doesn't happen.
Understandable. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Last question. And the debate is, do I make it serious or do I make it silly? And this is going to be the final question that closes it all out. Oh. If you could start over somewhere and you would bring everyone from your local scene with you, where would you start over at? Like, meaning build a new life at, not like, you know, start over like from the age of 14 or whatever. Like, if somehow you were able to collectively convince the entirety of your scene to drop where they're at, to move to a new location, to start a new life there at this new location, like new city, new state, whatever, where would you take the entirety of your scene? Local scene.
Okay, yeah. I guess like it'd be funny if we all went to China or something. Just because like we could try to get Xi to give some public funding to the melee scene. But other than that, you know, Wisconsin or Chicago, because they have good scenes. And I want to stay in the Midwest because I feel like the Midwest is like a nice place. There's no bi-coastal elites here.
What is it? What is it that the CEO says? No coast, no masters. No, not CEO. Combo breaker. No coast.
Breaker.
Yeah, no coast, no masters.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. China for the central planning, or Chicago for the central planning and the public transportation. I want to go somewhere with public transportation.
I know, like, yeah, no, you then don't come to LA. Horrible.
I would never do that.
No, hell no. That's terrible. Like, we have, if public transportation is your thing, we ain't got it.
Yeah.
Generally weather, but that's really about it. Generally weather. I think that's the most thing that we got going for us. At least that's the only positive thing I can think of right off the bat. And depending on what part of California, you could go to the beach, the mountains, and like have snow and beach weather all in like a 1 day's drive. But that's really about it.
Chicago too.
But that's really about it.
Yeah.
We got an ocean and mountains so close to each other you could snowboard and surf on the same day. That's really about it.
Yeah, you get in Chicago not because it's big, just because the weather will just change like that. You know, it'll just go from those extremes.
It's like, and they also have the giant bean.
Yeah.
Where apparently someone's like living in there. What's the story on that?
I think it might be a dead god of sorts.
A dead god in a bean?
Yeah, we're really not supposed to know. Really.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll leave that.
I can't really.
Yeah, all right. If you're not in the know, then you won't know. All right. Well, I guess I'll never know.
Yeah.
One day I'll travel out that way and I'll be like, the giant bean. And I was like, this is funny. Because the scale of that's insane.
I think the only other one is under Apple headquarters. But yeah, the other one's in the bean. Yep.
The Apple headquarters.
Yeah. It's a dyad situation.
Well, we don't have to discuss that because we don't want to be taken out. Oh, Trin, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I enjoyed having these conversations with you. It was a fun time. If you have a chance, let me know. We can do this again. It was a good time. It was a good time chatting here.
Yeah, I agree. I had a nice time. I hope you have a wonderful night. And,
yeah. Oh, before we go, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Where are they going to follow you? All that jazz. Before we go.
I don't know. If anybody ever sees this, all of your worries are all in your head, and you're perfectly fine. Yeah, woo! And happiness is a choice, and everything is love. Remember that. Remember that from the bottom of your heart. Hell yeah. With that, start waving. Wave goodbye to the stream. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you. Take care. Bye. Woo! Oh man, that was good, chat. That was fun times. Oh man, that was cool. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. Had a pretty crazy conversation right there. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time here, and I hope you all did too. Didn't realize I was going to be dropping so many frames and whatnot, but whatever, it happens. I have a couple other guests lined up already, so here's hoping we have some more stuff to take place and some more stuff to talk about for the future. But when that happens, we'll be able to move on. We'll be able to do the thing. We're gonna just cut it. We're gonna say goodbye from now. I'm gonna leave you to it. Thank you. We'll see you all in the next one. Later.